everyone, welcome to the cloud computing class session 34. So in the previous session we have discussed about how the communication happens between a client and a server, and in the previous session we already discussed about protocol used for communicating between the client and the servers, and what are the security protocols to protect that for the communication between the client and the server. So in today's section we are going to discuss the other point, that is client. So how the client environment is maintained, and mostly the HTML coding is written at the client side, which is like a interface between the client and the server. So cloud computing is based on connecting through a world wide web, the main standard to communicate data, that is HTML. So is under constant revision to improve its usability and functionality. So for communication between the client and the server, mostly the interface part, the HTML is used. And there is one organization, that is W3C, that is charged with designing and maintaining the language. So this is one organization or a website which provides one platform for the users for designing and designing the websites or the web pages and maintaining that language, or learning, means it is one good learning website for the users or the beginners. So when you click on a link in a web page, you are accessing HTML code in the form of hyperlink, which then takes you to another page. So as I told you, HTML is mostly used at the interface side. So when you click on any web page link, so beside that, means behind that, the HTML code is written, which will take you to the another page when you click on hyperlink. So HTML works using tags, CSS, dynamic HTML and scripts. So there are many HTML tags and CSS and HTML scripts which work together, is used for coding for the interfaces. Next we have infrastructure. So infrastructure is a way to deliver virtualization to your cloud computing solution. So we already discussed about the virtualization, where many people can access your services through the cloud, and that is the virtualization. That is on the server, many resources, much RAM is implemented, and that can be used by many people at a time. So virtualization is somewhat different, and major players work together to develop a standard. So there are many virtualization softwares and organizations which will help in this virtualization, like VMware, Cisco, Computer Associates, International, Dell, HP, IBM, Novell, etc. So all work together to advance open virtualization standards. So these all organizations provide the services, their softwares, their resources. So next we have web services. So web services describe how data is transferred from the cloud to the client. So web services, that is, they provide the web services through the cloud. So how the data is transferred from your cloud to the client, and what services are used for doing this. So web services are often web APIs that can be accessed over a network like the internet. So in the previous session, we already discussed about the web APIs. These are nothing but the which provides the interfaces to the user through which they can communicate from the cloud to the client. So web service, as defined by the World Wide Web Consortium, is a software system designed to support and exchange information from machine to machine interaction over the network. So as I already told you, this organization provides one platform for the web developers, for the web pages developer, website developers, where the messages can be exchanged, communication can be happened by using the HTML code, XML code, and so on. So some of the popular web services like REST, SOAP, and JSON. So we'll discuss about these services, that is REST, SOAP, and JSON. So REST, so it is nothing but full form is representational state transfer, is a way of getting information content from a website by reading a designated web page that contains a XML file that describes and includes the desired content. So is a one of the way of getting the information from the website by reading or by sending the request is, and it contains a XML code. So for sending and for receiving, HTML as well as XML code can be used. So it requires that a client make a request to the server in order to retrieve or modify data on the server. So with help of this REST interface, this REST is one interface through which the client makes a request to the server in order to retrieve the information or to modify the data on the server. So when the client request is made through the REST API, it transfers a representation of the state of the resource to the requester or endpoint. This information or representation is delivered in one of several formats through HTTP protocol, that is through JavaScript, object notation, HTML, or XLT, Python, PHP, or plain text. So these are some of the scripting languages, and through which it uses this to transfer the representation of the state of the resource to the other endpoint, to the other requester. So through the HTTP protocol, these all scripts, HTML, Python, plain text, these all have to be used. So these are the programming languages, these are the scripting languages which is specifically used for delivering the contents from the client to server, or from the, you can say, from the web pages. So for example, REST could be used by your cloud provider to provide updated subscription information. So to provide updated subscription information, that is the interface keeps on changing. That means latest updated data contents will be done by using this REST to the cloud providers. So subscribers only need to know the uniform resource locator for the page where the XML file is located, read it with the web browsers, understand the content using XML information and display it appropriately. So it can be used to know the subscriber's need, and for the page where the XML file can be located with this, and it will help the web browser to retrieve the information and display it appropriately. So allows the users to bookmark specific queries and allows those queries to be sent to others through email or instant messaging. So using this REST interface application, it allows the users to bookmark the queries as well as to send those queries through the email or instant messaging. So next application we'll see Simple Object Access Protocol, and that we call it as SOAP. So it's a way for a program running in one kind of operating system such as Windows Vista. So to communicate with the program in the same or another kind of an operating system. So by using HTTP and XML as the tools of exchange information. So this is one way to communicate from one program to another program using the web browser, using the web pages, using, or you can say, HTTP and XML combination, so that the messages can be exchanged. So it is an XML based messaging protocol for exchanging information among computers or from one program to another program. So next we'll see that is JavaScript object notation. So it is a lightweight computer data interchange format. So this is a form of JavaScript where the script is written to exchange the data from one format to another format, and it is often used as an alternative to XML. So mostly it is used for the validation and all, where the user sends the request and the response will be given, or for the validation to check the data is correct or wrong. So other benefits of XML include, that is self-describing data. XML does not require relational databases, file description tables, external data type definitions. XML also guarantees that the data is usable. So database integration. So XML documents can be contain any type of data, XML text and numbers, to multimedia objects, to active formats like Java. So this JavaScript object is used with combination with the XML for, and it does not require any databases file description and all. And database integration like XML documents can contain any type of data. So this XML is also used for database integration, that is from text and numbers to multimedia objects to active formats like Java. So this is XML is used with this JavaScript object notation for exchanging the data to communicate. So these are all other applications used for interface between the client and the server, or you can say from the cloud and the client. So no reprogramming if modifications are done. Documents and websites can be changed with Excel style sheets, that is you can say XML style sheets, without having to reprogram the data. So one server view of data XML is ideal for cloud computing because data spread across multiple servers looks as if it is stored on one server. So these all are the benefits of XML, which is used for especially for the providing the services through the cloud, that is through the website. So in today's session, we have discussed about all these clients, infrastructure and web services. In the next session, we'll see some new topic. Thank you.